I'll go home as a beggar and never be your wife.
Hi, I'm Mary.
And I'm Katie, and this is The Housewife Did It.
True Crime Edition. And we're back together. If you missed us being together, if you never want boys around again, you have to like, subscribe, follow, comment, engage to let us know. If you like jewelry, you can use our code Mary788 for money off of your order from Every Jewels, EVRY Jewels. I did get my order in. Stickers were bomb. They were very good stickers.
Good.
And they were like 89 cents, I think, for the whole
Hell
pack.
yeah.
All the earrings were so cute. They were so comfortable. They did not. I don't know that I have like sensitive ears, but like there are like some earrings that I get that like irritate my ears. Like they make my ears really itchy. And these do not, and they're also not like heavy. Like my ears do not like heavy. They do not like things that make it itchy. So very comfortable, good quality.
I've now placed
cute.
my second order.
Yeah.
I'm excited. In my second order, I got a fidget ring.
Cute.
So it's got like beads that you can play with.
Yeah, they have like glasses, they have pajamas, they have stickers, and they do sales literally all the time, and our code works on top of the sales.
Heck yeah.
So.
And it helps us.
Right.
Which is cool.
Anything else?
We have a new partnership, a new code for you all. We are now working with Deutsch Foods, I believe is how we're going to say that. Deutsch.
As a certified reading specialist, it is spelled Deutsch.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dough brand, so it could be Deutsch, I guess, but it's DOICH Foods. So they have gluten-free, low-sugar, edible snacking cookie dough. You can bake it if you would like, but you can also eat it by the spoonful. I am so excited. I saw this brand, and I was like, for our fearless true crime leader who can't have gluten and probably should have a lower sugar version of cookie dough, this sounds perfect. So we have a code for all of you to get 20% off purchases, and the code is HDI20. It should not be that hard to remember, folks. HDI20. You can get individual cups. You can get a 4-pack, a 6-pack, an 8-pack, whatever you would like to do. I think they have 4 flavors, and I just ordered a variety pack, so I'm going to try all of them, and stay tuned.
I want to take it and make one giant cookie, like a crumble cookie, because I can't eat crumble cookies anymore, and just make a giant cookie. Put it in pink box. Call it a day.
Yeah, heck yeah.
All right.
That's all.
Yeah, we'll let you know. They were so nice. Like, they were like, if you like it, if you think it's good. We're like, girl, it's cookie dough.
It's edible cookie dough. I'm sure it's going to be great.
Right.
And Mary's pretty limited in what she can eat, so.
Yeah, there's one kind of cookie dough we buy, and it's not edible on its own. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Some real-time true crime. An Arizona teacher named Haley Beck, who is the sister of an influencer named Noah Beck, no idea who that is under investigation for pandering and grooming.
I was just going to say, this might be where you're going, but the headline I saw said, like, Noah Beck's sister, second teacher involved in grooming the same student. What in the hell?
Correct. So Haley Beck specifically allegedly sent over 4,000 texts and $630 to a high school student that he is currently in high school, but she taught him during his sophomore year of high school. So he's like either a junior or a senior now. Another teacher at the school, Angela Berlocca, is under investigation for allegedly furnishing obscene material to the same minor.
Jesus Christ.
So I have read through some of the messages between this kid and Haley Beck, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I sure hope not.
But also like just on many levels. Like I was like kind of surprised, I guess, that the other teacher he refers to as Miss B in the text messages, I was kind of surprised that like she actually is part of it, because in the messages I was reading, like he was talking about like wanting to fuck her, and Haley Beck was like, she's old, like that's weird, like it's not weird for us because like we're not that far apart in age, but like she's like 50. And so I was like, it kind of just looked like they were talking about it in like a hypothetical sense, and like maybe it was like just what like he was wanting it, but apparently not. But this has prompted followers of Noah Beck to comb back through his videos on TikTok, including one of Noah Beck running alongside Haley Beck. You know those videos of like, suspect is blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And he said suspect's best friends are her students. And she stops and she says, but they're nice to me. And then people have also pointed out that several of his videos with him and his mom are kind of strange. Like they're like the audio is like sexual in nature, or like the movements are sexual in nature, and it just seems very strange that it's his mom. Moving on. The president of the United States continuously threatens to commit mass genocide against Iran, and then only changes his mind when he gets what he wants. Crazy.
Or when he doesn't.
Yeah. He actually just chickens out every time.
Yeah. Also, like I don't know, tweeting about like the war crimes you plan to commit is turning out to be like not his best like polling decision. Like people like don't love that. Crazy.
You know who really doesn't love it? The chicks.
Yes. And the Pope.
Not ready to make nice, babe.
No. Yeah, not that you don't all already love the chicks, but go support them because they reposted me on their story.
The chicks, Kristen Kitsch.
I can't stop.
Last thing, a new docuseries was released on Netflix as part of the Keep Sweet, Pray, and Obey collection.
Wow.
And it is so good. I was talking about it today, and I said, like, have y'all seen, like, the new, I was like, did y'all watch, like, Keep Sweet, Pray, and Obey? And, one of my coworkers was like, is that about the cult in Chattanooga? And I was like, no. And she was like, because they tried to recruit my sister. And I was like, that's so crazy, because that's what I'm writing a script about right now.
Wow.
Because that's what we're doing today.
Wow.
Did you know?
No.
Supplies.
Mom will be so excited.
Yeah, I think here's the thing. If anything's gonna convince our mom to not go to the Yellow Deli just to scope it out, it's gonna be this episode.
Mom, focused.
She's going to realize they're not just interesting, they're also bad people.
Danger.
Yeah. Not even like necessarily dangerous, violent people, just like very racist. So, you and I are about to go on a little journey together, and that journey takes us back to, I don't know where, all over the place, but specifically Chattanooga, Tennessee, in the early 70s. Bing, 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 bing. Ready?
Yep.
All right. Also, in case you were wondering, I have started borrowing cases from Katie's list. That's how we got here. All right. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, the West Coast had been taken over by an evangelical Protestant movement called the Jesus Movement.
Oh, wow.
Very straightforward. Mm-hmm. One of my kids, we had Spirit Week this week, and Monday was read my shirt day, so you had to wear a shirt with words. And one of my kids was like, could I wear a shirt from church? And I said, well, does it have words on it? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, then absolutely. And I said, well, what does it say? And she said, it says Jesus Church. And I was like, I feel like it doesn't.
Did it?
Believe you. She didn't wear it, so I don't know.
Oh, dang.
But another one did wear a shirt that says Jesus loves me, this I know.
That's cute.
Yeah. The Jesus movement spread across the Americas, Europe, Australia, and New Zealand. And in 1972, it also spread to Chattanooga, Tennessee, in the form of a group that has gone by many names. They have called themselves the Vine Christian Community Church, Northeast Kingdom Community Church, the Messianic Communities, the Community Apostolic Order, and now they call themselves the 12 Tribes. In 1972, Gene Spriggs started a teen ministry called Light Brigade for Jesus Christ, which he operated alongside his wife out of a coffee shop called The Lighthouse. In its foundational years, the Light Brigade began living communally, but continued to allow its members to attend the church of their choice. Very low-stakes cult at this point.
Okay.
Eventually, they decided that all of their members would join the First Presbyterian Church in Chattanooga. And now they're all going to the same church, but it's like an already established church.
Yeah, they're just joining.
Yeah. They also opened an additional business, a restaurant called the Yellow Deli, in 1973. My favorite part of this was being all up in their websites. So I'm going to read you a detailed description of their founding directly from the Yellow Deli website. It says, one day in 1972, a few zealous people had the thought that they could open a little place where people could come and sit down and not feel rushed to leave. People could ask questions if they wanted to and find a little refuge from the pressures of life. Well, sometimes it is hard to even find someone to talk to about your troubles. Being believers, these young zealots knew that there really are answers to the troubles of mankind, but there needed to be a place for people to get a break and sit down and think about the deep things of life. So they decided to make a nice, comfortable place with good food and maybe a chance to touch hearts with those passing through the doors. It could be a friendly spot to meet their neighbors. They had run across a verse in the Bible about how being filled with the Holy Spirit meant that your life would produce a certain kind of fruit. That fruit is love, peace, joy, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. So, if it were possible to consistently demonstrate these qualities, it would surely create a very nice environment. Just having such a place for people to come in and sit down would be so nice, so why not do it? We serve the fruit of the Spirit, why not ask? Became their motto. For sure, people do not have to ask, but if people want to ask, they can. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what they're talking about.
Asking.
So, the Yellow Deli was our Heavenly Father's gift to us when it first opened in May of 1973 in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It was not a genius marketing plan, but just a simple attempt to do something to start to make a change.
feel like they were like rushed out of a restaurant once, and they were so mad. like I was like, place where you can go and you do not have to immediately.
I'm like, no, yeah, I'm
70, like, what were 70s restaurants like?
Like, I'm trying to like connect the dots between like this is a cult, this is a religious experience, and you should never be rushed out of a restaurant.
Yeah.
Like,
but who did you dirty? Who rushed you?
Why did you find the business on that? Like,
yeah.
You should never
a place to sit. Okay.
Okay.
What? I must have missed that part of history where all 70s restaurants were standing, no speaking, immediately leave types of establishments.
Like, I swear to God, the ancient texts, the history books are very clear that there were like 1,000 lunch counters in that time that they were all sitting at. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't understand. Anyway, the group quickly realized that there were some things about First Presbyterian that weren't really lining up with their own beliefs. For one thing, in early 1970s Tennessee, churches weren't really an inclusive, diverse space. The deli people, as they called themselves, began bringing guests to serve people of different social classes and races. Just crazy considering their stances on things. In January of 19...
Don't tell them about 2020's Tennessee churches. Things have not much improved.
Well, we'll get there. In January of 1975, the deli people...
It sounds like the village people.
I'm going to keep calling them... I'm going to keep calling them the deli people until they finally name themselves the 12 Tribes.
Okay.
Which is in the 90s, so...
So are these are they also employees? Like, do these people work for the deli, live together, and go to church together? Okay, cool.
In January of 1975, the deli people went to the church for a service, not realizing that the service had been canceled due to the Super Bowl. This was really the final straw for them. And, like, as a Catholic, in what world are we canceling? Kind of crazy.
Honestly, I get it, deli people.
Yeah, I'm also confused. This was their final straw, and it became the catalyst for them.
In the morning,
right? You had to cancel the whole day. There wasn't a single service they could attend because of the Super Bowl. Crazy. So they finally decided to create their own church. They formed the Vine Christian Community Church and immediately expanded to multiple locations, each with its own church, group of homes, and a yellow deli. There were now
like in the church?
No,
or
just
like in the they just made like little.
It's a commune.
Okay.
And so they have like their homes, their church, and a yellow deli.
Okay. Those better be the best fucking sandwiches.
Oh, there's a part of the website on it. You get through all of them trying to explain themselves about like why they live in a community, why this has to do with Jesus, all of these things, why they are racist, and you get to the very end and it says, and a really good sandwich. All that and a really good sandwich. Ow.
Heck yeah. I'm trying to see how many there are.
Stop. Get out of there.
Currently. I'm trying to see how many there are currently.
How many yellow delis or how many groups?
Yellow
12 tribes. I think they're like 6. There were now Vine Christian churches in Dalton and Trenton, Georgia, Mentone, Alabama, Mentone, I don't know, and Dayton, Tennessee, in addition to the one in Chattanooga. The church's beliefs and systems were vague and quickly became viewed as extreme. They called their services the critical mass and held it in public parks. Because they didn't actually have a church building yet.
Like Catholic mass or like mass?
No, not Catholic mass, critical mass.
No, I know, but like
no, yeah, no, like mass.
Or mass
yeah,
meaning like okay.
Mass meaning the service, but it's critical. They appointed.
Catholics have one called the High Mass and the Low Mass. So I mean,
but all of them are critical. That's what I don't get.
They're all
every
critical.
single one is critical.
No non-critical masses.
No. They appointed elders and began their own baptisms. Other religious groups were concerned by how quickly the Delhi people were gaining traction and how they were acting even outside of any denominational authority. They managed to gain the attention of the Cult Awareness Network, is what it's called now. At the time, it was two groups called the Parents Committee to Free Our Children from the Children of God and the Citizens Freedom Foundation. They determined that the Vine Christian Community Church was, in fact, a cult, and that Gene Spriggs was a cult leader. Bob Pardon, the executive director of Christian Countercult Movement at the New England Institute of Religious Research, has over time spent a lot of time with the group in order to conduct research on them. His findings stated that Spriggs had extreme authoritarian leadership like that of a Galatian heresy.
Wow.
Top 10 things I don't want to be called.
Mm-hmm.
Spriggs worked hard to make sure that his followers had no outside information by controlling the publications they could access. They were not allowed to have TVs, radios, newspapers, or books outside of those written by members. In the summer of 1976, an anti-cult activist named Ted Patrick began seeking out Delhi people and attempting to deprogram them. That's what it was called.
They're robots.
I know. It was like power down.
Mm-hmm.
While he worked to draw people out of the cult, the group as a whole had decided that negative press was not worth worrying about. So they focused their attention
All press is good press.
Yep. they focused their attention on expanding, and they opened a second Yellow Delhi location. I put Yelly Delhi. A second Yellow Delhi location.
That would have been genius marketing.
Opened a second Yellow Delhi location in downtown Chattanooga and a new business called the Areopagus Cafe. I don't know how I'm saying if that's saying that right. The philosophy of the Vine Christian Community Church is a combination of several other extremist religious groups. It borrows some beliefs from Christian fundamentalism, the Hebrew Roots movement, Messianic Judaism, and the Sacred Name movement. They do not believe they are aligned enough with any group to fall under a specific denomination, noting that all other Christian denominations are fallen.
Mm.
They believe that their mission is to restore the church to its original form as described in Acts 2 and 4.
Okay. Not 3.
Okay. Over that. In doing this, they will bring about the return of the Messiah and the creation of a new Israel consisting of yeah, it's messy.
Okay.
Consisting of 12 tribes scattered across 12 geographic regions. Some practices they have adopted are observing the Sabbath, maintaining Mosaic law.
They came up with that one on their own.
I know.
The Sabbath.
They're all Jewish. Following a diet centered on whole grain bread, hence the delis. and observing Jewish holidays, including Pesach, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot, and Passover. They hold bar mitzvah and bat mitzvah celebrations, but they also teach that Jews are responsible for the death of Christ.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm reading this, and they're like, they have denied any allegations of being anti-Semitic, and I was like, that was not the allegation I was making.
No, but also, I've never heard, obviously, these are different, but, like, I've never heard people who believe that we have any power in, like, prompting the return of Christ. Like, that they think they will bring about the return of the Messiah.
They're like, if we're good enough, he will come. Yeah. Also,
because it's always kind of been like, he will come even if you're bad.
Yeah.
And you don't know when he's coming. And they're like, no, it'll be when we're at our best.
I think they're so interesting because, like, they're like, Jews brought about the death of Christ. Like, they clearly, like, believe that Jesus is the Messiah, which is, like, different from Judaism. But then also, like, their website, it's, like, specifically says, like, the 12 tribes, like, something about, like, I don't know. Hold on. Let me look it up.
Which, like, I guess, factually, a lot of the people involved in Jesus's death were Jewish, right? Because, like, most people were Jewish, like, I don't know, maybe not, but yeah.
Yes, I think that, yes. Okay, this is it. It's 12 tribes, the Commonwealth of Israel. This is so interesting.
Like the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Yeah, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Their beliefs on relationships begin with a waiting period before courtship can begin. During the waiting period, so this is like very like whatever the Duggars are.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but
pedophiles. Apparently.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, during the waiting period, one person will express an interest in the other person. As they court, they receive feedback from the community on if they make a good couple.
Nah, y'all ugly together.
If the fact that this was a distinction, if the couple is underage, they have to receive confirmation from their parents of their love and level of compatibility to be betrothed. If they are adults,
we could just not betroth people until they're adults.
If they're adults, they have to receive confirmation from the entire community to be engaged, and then they can hold hands. This was like my favorite part. I was like, this is hilarious, actually.
If they're minors and their parents do sign whatever waiver to let them be engaged, do they get to hold hands, or do they have to wait till they're 18?
I think anyone who's engaged can hold hands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Weddings are very dramatized and theatrical. It's a play.
Oh.
It literally looks like Midsommar.
Oh my god.
It's insane. The man, because they're all heterosexual, obviously.
Of course.
The man represents Jesus, and the group holds a pre-enactment, not a reenactment, a pre-enactment of the end times and how they believe Jesus will return to the earth for his bride. His what?
Who is his bride? The church?
Huh?
Who is his bride? The church?
Yeah, who is Jesus' bride?
Well, like, that's what Catholics believe, is that, like, Jesus' bride is the church. And that, like, a man and woman relationship is like the woman is the church and the husband
why are we not in charge?
The Christ figure, because the church follows Christ. Mm-hmm.
The group also believes in an ideology they refer to as 3 eternal destinies. This ideology states that after the fall of man, each person was given a conscience.
Mm-hmm.
After dying, they believe each individual goes into a state of death regardless of their religious affiliation. So you die and you're dead.
Right.
Right. But only believers will be brought back in the second coming.
Oh, so they believe like they are in the ground dead until then. They're not in heaven.
No, they're not. But so the second coming, anyone who believed in God comes back. Okay?
Okay.
God rules
1 and 2. I'm waiting for number 3.
I'm getting there. God rules a 1,000-year reign, and then Jesus judges each believer and sorts them into 2 categories, the righteous and the filthy.
Wait. So we had, hold on. These people have to be in the ground, dead, deceased, soul not living anywhere for possibly thousands of years.
Right.
Then when they finally get like eternal life, which isn't even eternal, I guess.
It's just 1,000 years.
It's 1,000 more years of more trials and tribulations. It's not even like nice and steady.
Imagine being on Earth for 1,000 years. Like, I already did this shit once.
Does it take place? Is there like a new location that's not Earth? Do we have physical bodies again? Are people going to get sick again? Or like, is it?
I think it's Earth. Because then the filthy are sent to the lake of fire, and the righteous go into eternity with the Lord. Obviously.
I'm so shook to understand why I would long for this. Like, this is the thing about religion and like cults, but like religion at large is like, it is nice to not think when I die, I'm literally just living with the worms. It's nice to think like I will go somewhere. I will take a journey.
Yeah.
But you're telling me I get to live with the worms for thousands of years, then be awoken from my eternal slumber to have to live more time with possibly filthy people, and then have to do the judgment all over again?
Yeah, and
I'm not looking forward to this.
Good news is that he should be coming back in about 50 years. So, won't be that long.
So just 1,050 in total?
I mean, in 50 years from now, there was a past.
Well, no, so I'm saying me.
Oh,
so
for you, yeah.
If I were to die today, I'm in the ground for 50 years, and then I've got 1,000?
Yeah, and then, but also they believe, like...
Possibly Lake of Fire.
They believe that anyone who's not 12 tribes, Lake of Fire...
is filthy, yeah.
Yeah. Like, okay, you believed in God, you get 1,000 extra years, but it's over then.
Yeah.
You had your chance. Time's up.
Do you, in that 1,000 years, have the chance to, like, convert to 12 tribes?
No.
Do you think?
It says that you are judged
based on... So I'm just here being teased.
Yeah. You are judged based on how you lived your life, basically. Like the Good Place.
Oh my God.
In 1978, the public began to attempt to protect anyone else from joining the Delhi people. Bryan College...
said, you don't understand. This is 1,000-year commitment.
Right.
At least.
Bryan College, Tennessee Temple University, and Covenant College all banned students from patronizing the Yellow Delis in Dayton and Chattanooga.
Oh, Wow.
They were not allowed to go there.
How do you even police that? I just want a sandwich.
Yeah. That same year, Spriggs began looking into moving the operation. He had received an invitation from a small church in rural Island Pond, Vermont, for them to come worship with them. He declined, but he thought that Island Pond might be a good place to expand to. So at that point, the group was deeply in debt. And they started slowly moving to Vermont. In 1980, local judges in Chattanooga signed off on a falsified arrest warrant for the daughter of a police detective that was part of the group, with the intention of saving her, deprogramming her.
Mm.
And after that, the move moved a lot quicker. All yellow delis and Vine Christian community churches were closed, and the members of the church all moved to Vermont. The group lost several members in the move, but that was really the least of their worries in Vermont. Upon arriving in Vermont, the group gained the attention of the Citizens Freedom Foundation in Barton. So they had been at odds with this group in Chattanooga, and the Citizens Freedom Foundation had made allegations of mind control. But now in Vermont, they were also accusing them of child abuse. In 1983, one of the elders of the church, Charles Eddie Wiseman, was charged with misdemeanor simple assault. And around the same time, several members of the community were involved in child custody disputes. On June 22nd, 1984, Vermont State Police and Vermont Social Rehabilitation Services went to the group of homes with a warrant and seized 112 children.
Mm.
All of the cases were dismissed due to the judge finding the search warrant to be unconstitutional. He called it a grossly unlawful scheme that had been signed as the result of being given false or unreliable information. The Vermont chapter of the ACLU called the raid frightening and said it was the greatest deprivation of civil liberties to have occurred in recent Vermont history.
Okay. The raid is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they took their children.
Okay.
And they're saying, so basically what they said is that someone filed this complaint and said that they believed they were abusing children, but that they didn't really have evidence of it, and so they couldn't prove it, but they falsified evidence, and so a judge signed off on the warrant, and then that's how they gained the children. And so now they're saying that warrant should never have been signed. They should never have been allowed to go there. Now in real time, people have said by today's standards, they absolutely would have still searched it.
Yeah.
So anyway, the governor at the time took a lot of heat for authorizing the raid and ended up not being reelected.
Mm.
And the guy that they elected afterwards said that it was only because of the raid. In an attempt to avoid further scrutinization, the group began working on building relationships with their neighbors. They realized that the more they kept to themselves, the more suspicion they drew, so their new goal was to be more open with those around them. 2 months after the main witness for the case against Eddie Wiseman recanted, saying he had been interrogated under duress from the anti-cult movement, and that case ended up being dropped. Wiseman had even managed to convince his public defender, Gene Swantko, to join the group and marry him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pro cult.
Mm-hmm. When they relocated to Vermont, the group also adopted a very specific style. Men began wearing long-sleeved shirts and vests and maintained shoulder-length hair, which it says they tied back in a club.
Oh.
So, everything is sandwich terms.
If you will.
Women wore long pinafores, skirts, or pants accompanied by a loose-fitting blouse. They had to keep their hair long, and they wore headscarves, and like still do, to church services. In 1985, Gene Spriggs claimed to have received a revelation about the book of Daniel, which led him to believe that he was leading this community, which he considered to be... The hell did I say? Are you frozen? No.
I'm still waiting for you to figure out what the hell you're saying.
Let's start over. The revelation led him to believe that he was leading a community which he considered to be the spatial Israel that would bring about the return of Jesus. So you also are like, what the fuck did she write? No, I'm sure that's what it said.
Israel isn't. He's like, Israel's not a place. It's like a.
It's a state of mind.
Somebody would hate to hear that. Just saying.
They began at this time referring to Jesus by his Hebrew name, Yahshua. And then members of the group began taking Hebrew names for themselves. On their website, they have a page called Our Leader and His Message, which reads, "You may know him as Jesus. We call him by his Hebrew name, Yahshua. Our master Yahshua was probably one of the most misunderstood men that has ever walked on the planet. Misrepresented 1,000 times over by painters, poets, preachers, and teachers." Agreed. But why are you saying it? We have found him to be, quite simply, the greatest and kindest of all men.
Quite simply, a brown man.
One of his most outstanding characteristics was his love for people. He saw their condition, weary and scattered, like sheep without a shepherd. His response? Filled with compassion, he healed all that came to him, the sick and deaf, the demon-possessed. But to heal physical maladies was not the sole purpose for which he came. He came to offer people the remedy for the spiritual disease that was ravaging them, sin and death. He was the author of life, the most wonderful man who has ever lived. That was his nature then, and it remains the same to this day. I feel like it sounds like I'm making fun of the idea that Jesus was a wonderful man. I'm just making fun of them.
Yeah.
Because when they say it, it sounds kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They began adding Israeli dancing and folk music into their services. Throughout the 1980s, I don't know why I put this here. The group would follow the tour bus of the Grateful Dead, stopping at their concert locations to recruit new members.
Okay. What an interesting client pool.
Yeah. In 1987, every resident of Island Pond, Vermont was baptized and told that they were being washed from the perceived flaws of contemporary Christianity.
Oh.
Some people are not going to like that.
Mm-hmm.
And those people are Hillsong.
Mm-hmm.
Because Island Pond had been so accepting of the Delhi people, their membership had really grown, and they were able to continue expanding. During the 1980s and 1990s, they opened branches of what they were calling Messianic Communities in the Czech Republic, Canada, Australia, Brazil, Spain, Germany, Argentina, and the United Kingdom.
They're really encroaching on Hillsong's territory.
In 1995, the group officially began using the name 12 tribes. In the early 2000s, more accusations came against the group of alleged child labor, custodial interference, and illegal homeschooling.
Oh.
In 2001, the New York Post accused the group of child labor violations through their Common Sense farm. During an inspection by Estee Lauder, they found
Okay.
the Common Sense farm had like a factory.
Okay.
Estee Lauder products there.
Okay.
And so they were like, let's go in and see what it's like. They found that several 14-year-olds were working in the factory.
And now they all work at Crumble Cookie. Hey, you don't remember that?
No.
Crumble had like a child labor scandal a few years ago.
Oh. Okay. Which led to Estee Lauder terminating their contract with Common Sense products.
There.
12 tribes said they would not be apologizing for the violation because they consider their business endeavors to be family-owned, and that is why they encourage the children to help their fathers with work.
Mm-hmm.
Idiots. The New York State Department of Labor went on to visit all of the 12 tribes' owned businesses and decided that the children's participation in the work there amounted to indentured servitude and was therefore illegal.
Yeah.
The Labor Department also fined the group $2,000 for allowing a 15-year-old to push a wheelbarrow and another 15-year-old to change a light bulb.
Okay.
That's what you're going to get them on?
Iggy.
Afterwards, Sundance Catalog also terminated their contract with Common Sense. Which sounds like a really badass way to say someone's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
You've terminated your contract with Common Sense.
Yeah.
In 2006, 12 tribes reestablished a community in Chattanooga, which became its 12th and final tribe.
Oh, wow. Really full circle moment for them.
They named this tribe Benjamin after the tribe of Benjamin in, you guessed it, Israel.
Mm-hmm.
In 2008, they opened their new Yellow Deli location in Chattanooga. In a section of the Yellow Deli website with the title Growing to Other States and Countries, the group writes, "Since it is a group effort with all of us working together, it supports our community lifestyle. We all actually live and work together. This is not just a 9-to-5 job for us where we go to work every day and then go home to our separate lives. So the way they lived after our Savior was resurrected and went to be with his Father is graphically described in the Bible in Acts 2 and 4 so that we can all know what they did when they first received the Holy Spirit on the day of Pentecost." That's one sentence.
Do people go here to this deli? I feel like everyone knows about it now.
Yeah, no, I think for sure they do now. But I also think that people go there because of that.
Well, yeah, but
like our mother.
I guess, do people go not because of that at all?
How good are these sandwiches actually? Also, I did look on their website and they basically said we don't do gluten-free. Sorry.
Their Instagram says, "We serve the fruit of the Spirit. Why not ask?" Ask?
What the fuck are you talking about?
It says, "Mate Factor."
Yes, that's another one of their businesses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I want to know what
they have a lot of businesses.
What's the question?
Many feel as if the community life of the original church was just a fleeting experiment that soon ended. To us, it appears to be the standard of how things should be for believers, so we have set ourselves to live that way. So, living after the pattern of the original church in Jerusalem in 30 AD has been our goal. We must remain in unity and allow nothing to divide us. The unity of the disciples was central and essential to the message of the Son of God, but is little spoken of today. Hopefully, there can be a restoration of how things used to be. In 2018, another investigation was launched by New York State into the Common Sense Farm. There were again allegations of child labor violations. Inside Edition had conducted a hidden camera investigation that showed children working in a green formulas soap factory owned by the group. When the episode aired, A Cure, is that what that skincare thing is called? And
yeah, I think
A Cure and Savannah Bee terminated their contracts with Green Formulas. In Germany and France, 12 tribes communities were under investigation for illegal homeschooling and child abuse, as well as issues regarding the children's health and religious freedom. Homeschooling is illegal in Germany, which feels like that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't need any of y'all putting your beliefs on children if you're not certified, actually.
No.
Historically, hasn't worked for us.
No.
But the group felt convicted in wanting to ensure that their children were exposed to teachings that aligned with their beliefs. After several failed attempts to stop 12 tribes from homeschooling, authorities granted them the right to operate a private school at the commune under state supervision. 12 tribes agreed, specifying that they would not be teaching sex ed or evolution. Thank you very much.
Okay.
2 years after the establishment of this private school, their right to operate was revoked because they were not using certified teaching staff for their lessons, and they were refusing to answer questions regarding physical abuse.
Oh.
They said no comment. After this, German police raided their commune and removed 40 children. An undercover reporter had secretly recorded the adults beating the children. 12 tribes denied abusing their children and said that they simply used reed-like rods for discipline. They said that
they just held them in front of their face. And we said, look, discipline.
They said that in line with their religion, they had the obligation to cane their own children under the age of 12 in the event that they were disobedient, and that parents had the right to pass on their religious and philosophical beliefs to their children. This is like an established court case in Germany that granted parents the right to pass their religious and philosophical beliefs. They said, that's what we're talking about. In 2018, the European Court of Human Rights upheld the decision to remove the children from the commune, pointing out that the court is understanding of the passing of moral convictions in an insistent and overbearing manner. They're hellfire and brimstone, fine, whatever. But that is different, they said, from exposing children to dangerous practices and physical or psychological harm.
Yeah.
Why? Surprised you thought otherwise.
Yeah.
After the court proceedings, some children were returned to their parents and others remained in federal custody. After this, the 12 tribes left Germany, and the members of the German sect moved to the commune in the Czech Republic. 12 tribes believes that children play a key role in the end times. They teach that it is the parent's responsibility to enforce consequences when their child has committed a sin. This will allow the child to maintain a clean conscience. As they grow older, they are able to overcome the faults of their predecessors, which will allow future generations of the group to be the 144,000 referenced in Revelation 7.
Yes. It's also the pinned post at the top of their Instagram is about the 144,000.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
They do believe that the end times have arrived.
Okay.
On Passover in 2022, they began what they called a 49-year race.
Okay.
I'm guessing they mean like running race, like a marathon.
Okay.
They believe that Jesus will return in the 50th year, which is a Jubilee year, and also happens to be close to, but not exactly, 100 years since the founding of the Light Brigade. Close to, but not exactly. This is why it is so important to them to keep their children clean slates.
Because they will like live to see this.
Right. Well, and it's in their hands, you know. They practice corporal punishment, spanking their children with sticks, often to the point of bleeding or collapse, and often multiple times a day. In the past, they allowed all community members to participate in the punishment of children, but now it is primarily the job of the parent. Primarily.
Nice.
Primarily? Great. Crazy. In 2018, a report was released by the Southern Poverty Law Center, which outlined 12 tribes' problematic views on slavery. They gathered that the group teaches its followers that the curse of Ham was a racial curse that made Ham a servant to his brother Shem. And this story in the Bible, they say, justifies slavery. Their teachings specifically state that slavery was, quote, a marvelous opportunity that blacks could be brought over here to be slaves so that they could be found worthy of the nations. At the same time, they preach that they are an inclusive community, and they do have several black members. Their website says, we saw that a pattern was established in the first century church, a life in which all who believed lived together and had all things in common. Actually, we saw that there are several verses in the Bible that paint a vivid picture of the daily life of the original church, which looks much different from the religious experience most of us had growing up. Those original believers who lived communally, as described in Acts 4, verse 32, were not just any old people. They were the famous first apostles, like Peter, James, and John, and the Apostle Paul. Those are the people who are writing the New Testament that we treasure so much today. Plus, other famous people from the Bible were there in that community, like the Virgin Mary, those who were healed by the Savior, plus many others who were personally touched by the message of the Son of God as he walked among them. We know that all those people lived like that because the Bible says all who believed were together and shared all things in common. So surely the word all would have included them.
I think you're like getting spot on with like if I were to talk to one of these people and be like, tell me, and they're like, well, but everyone lives together.
Right.
And like you're really killing it. That's I guess to them though, like they are all being enslaved. Like they're making all the children work. Oh.
Not what they mean.
No. I know that's not what they mean, but I'm saying like to like justify this like inclusive church, they've got all races of children doing indentured servitude.
Yes.
So like to them, at least like currently what they're doing, unless you tell me otherwise, they're not only having the black members do that work.
No, they're not.
But obviously stating that it was a marvelous opportunity for black people. It was crazy.
They also on their website address their old-fashioned beliefs, they call them, with this statement. Some more conservative people these days have said, we've gone about as far as we can go when considering the state of the mixed-up world around us. Most of the old-fashioned ethics of our grandparents have been abandoned for the more modern ideas, which greatly contradict the Word of God. But that is the nice thing about restoration. You get to go back to the way it was originally. It was predicted in the Bible that in the last days things would get very dark, but also that there would be a restoration of all things. So we are hoping to see many things that have gone way off course be restored to the way it was supposed to be. Obviously, our hope for this world goes far beyond what politicians are promising these days, but we have high hopes and we believe we will see them fulfilled. 12 Tribes justifies their justification of slavery by stating that slavery is over for those who believe, but clarify that this only applies to Black people within their group, so as they are the true believers. They do think that all other Black people should still be enslaved.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So slavery is over if you're a true believer. For everyone else, and
you'll kind of be enslaved if you're a true believer, like you're one of us. You'll kind of be enslaved in like a different way because we'll still
until
have
you're as a child,
manual labor and whatever. Okay. I'm sitting with it. I'm just trying to think of so in 45 years when Jesus comes and a lot of enslaved people are believers, maybe not true or righteous believers to them, but they're
gonna be stuck on earth with them for 1,000 years.
So yeah, they're gonna be classified as the filthy. Okay.
It's like that season of American Horror Story. It's like Kathy Bates' worst nightmare.
But what about for the people where the 12 tribes didn't exist? Like they didn't have this option. Too bad still? Filthy?
It exists everywhere.
Huh?
It exists everywhere.
No, I mean for people who have been dead for a very long time. Waiting in
but they say that they all of these things they say are named after like the actual 12 tribes of Israel, and sure. They like a lot of the Bible references they make are like, well, in Jesus's time, this is how it was done, and we've gotten away from that, so we're bringing it back. So I think they believe that like the people they adopt these things from are also okay.
Cool. Okay.
Yes.
Which is just clearly not going to include kidnapped and enslaved Black people.
Right.
Who had no chance to be friends with Jesus.
Right.
Back in the... Okay, cool.
With brown Jesus, mind you.
Of course.
In 2019, the FBI released a 40-page summary of the results of an investigation they had conducted on the 12 Tribes sect in North Carolina. The summary showed that other investigations had been conducted over the years on suspicions of child abuse and suspicious deaths at various compounds. In 2020, a former elder who had been there since the establishment of the 12 tribes in Australia gave a television interview explaining his reasoning for leaving the organization. So he was one of the founding members of the Australian sect, and he's no longer in it. He claimed that he knew of several babies that had been born stillborn, but there were no official government records on these births, which would be illegal. Mm-hmm. Police in New South Wales executed a search warrant on the property of Peppercorn Creek Farm, where they seized documents and other evidence, which led to an additional investigation of child abuse. A few months later, police returned to the property to continue searching for evidence of stillborn babies having been buried on the property, and at least one body of an infant was found. In October of 2021, the man who had given that interview to the TV program, Scott Zarnecki, was found dead in his home from several stab wounds, and a 17-year-old boy was charged with his murder.
Mm.
In 2021, Gene Spriggs died in one of his homes in Hiddenite, North Carolina. Spriggs was referred to as the Anointed One, but the group did not regard him as a spiritual figurehead. So this was not like Rulin' Jeff's, like, wait, what the fuck, that man's not supposed to die, what's happening? They were like, that's fine, just kind of sad. They structure their leadership as a series of councils with local, regional, and global apostolic councils. So they don't really have like a prophet kind of thing. They have like elders, councils made up of various people. Within the councils are teachers, deacons, deaconesses, elders, and apostles. 12 Tribes continues to look for new members for each of their communities. They use mobile operations to evangelize at various community events like Grateful Dead concerts in what they call an unobtrusive manner. Their vehicles, this is insane, include the Peacemaker Marine, which is a Class A barkentine sailing ship that evangelizes at U.S. ports. It is a like actual U.S. battleship that they purchased and renovated to use as a marketing vehicle.
Okay.
And then they have
There's a lot of missed opportunities to evangelize at ports. People are just hanging out there.
Right. Well,
waiting to be.
The sea life is. They were all drunk. They also have 2 hippie buses named the Peacemaker 1 and the Peacemaker 2.
Great.
Before the vehicles, they would evangelize by walking around areas with very little necessities. So they carried tiny, tiny, tiny backpacks with nothing in them. And if someone offered them a ride or water or a place to stay, they viewed this as a sign of pure hearts, and they would evangelize to them, trying to entice them to join their group. They would like wait for people to like offer to help them, and they were like, that's a good one right there.
Yeah.
Their members also invite people to stay with them, specifically when there is a celebration in the area. It said like when there's like a wedding, I was like, if I'm a guest at someone's wedding and a stranger comes up to me and it's like, you can stay in my commune, like that is the strangest situation I could imagine being in. They also participate in missionary expeditions. Members of 12 Tribes do not need to seek outside employment because the group owns and operates several businesses, including Parchment Press, a printing and publishing company that supports authors within the group; Greener Formulas, a soap and body care research development firm; Mate Factor, a yerba mate import company; and Tribal Trading. Tribal Trading, which is an organic food distribution company. They own several restaurants as well: the Yellow Deli, Common Ground Cafe, Mate Factor Cafe, and Stony Brook Farm Market. Finally, they own several construction companies, which are known to operate with the use of unpaid and child labor. Not unpaid child labor, unpaid labor for adults and child labor. These are called BOJ Construction and Commonwealth Construction. In 2024, a member of the 12 Tribes community in Pulaski was found stabbed to death on the commune property. Adam Arthur Rosenthal, a more recent member of the 12 Tribes, confessed to police that he had killed Darren Cody Gramble to prove his faith to God. At present, there are 11 tribes. I counted and recounted this. 11. That's all I could find. All over the place. I'm going to tell you about them. The tribe of Benjamin, Eastern United States, and has communities established in Arcadia, Florida, Asheville, North Carolina, Brunswick, Georgia, Chattanooga, Tennessee, Hillsborough, Virginia, Pine Island, Florida, Pulaski, Tennessee, Savannah, Georgia, and Mobile, Alabama. This tribe also operates 3 farms, the Gladheart Farm, Stony Brook Farm, and Gatherings Grove Farm. The tribe of Yehuda is located in the northeastern U.S. and houses members in Bellows Falls, Vermont, Cambridge, New York, Coxsackie, New York, Hamburg, New York, Hyannis, Massachusetts, Islandport, Vermont, Ithaca, New York, Lancaster, New Hampshire, Oak Hill, New York, Wananta, New York, Milton, Massachusetts, Plymouth, Massachusetts, and Rutland, Vermont. They have 2 farms, the Basin Farm and Common Sense Farm. The tribe of Manasseh is in the Midwest U.S. with communities set up in Boulder, Colorado, Overbrook, Kansas, Lawrence, Kansas, Manitou Springs, Colorado, and Warsaw, Missouri. They have an orchard in Overbrook called Fieldstone Orchard. The tribe of Yusuf serves the members of the western United States with properties in Valley Center, California, Raymond, Washington, Vista, California, and Egekik, Alaska. I don't know. This tribe has a fishing outpost as well as a ranch called Morning Star Ranch. The tribe of Gad is in Canada and has a farm at each location. Chilliwack, British Columbia is home to Fairfield Farm. Courtenay, British Columbia has New Sprout Farm. Kingston, Ontario has Abbey Dawn Farm. Nelson, British Columbia has Mount Sentinel Village Farm. And Winnipeg has Little Mountain Farm. The tribe of Asher covers the communities of both New South Wales, Australia, and Kyoto, Japan. Not that close together, I think.
Next door neighbors.
The tribe of Issachar is in Argentina in the cities of General Rodriguez and Sierra de los Padres. The tribe of Shimon is in Spain in the cities of Correa, San Sebastian, Orio, and Pedreguer. The tribe of Levi is in Eastern Europe with 4 locations in the Czech Republic and 1 in Romania. I'm not even going to try to say the names of those cities. The tribe of Naphtali is in Brazil in the cities of Campo Largo, General Carneiro, Tepequirica de Serra, and Londrina. And finally, the tribe of Zebulun lives in Stintwood Farm in Honiton, Australia. In its current state, 12 tribes describes itself as an emerging emerging spiritual nation. We are a confederation. Lost me already. Stop.
Call the bully.
Of 12 self-governing tribes made up of self-governing communities. Wrong. We're not self-governing. Yeah. By community, we mean families.
All of the governments.
Like, you're not indigenous. This isn't a reservation. Shut the fuck up. By community, we mean families and single people who live together in homes and on farms.
Like a community. Family and single people.
You did not have to define that for me.
Thank you.
We are disciples of the Son of God, whom we call by his Hebrew name, Yahshua. Mm-hmm. Don't forget. We follow the Old and New Testament scriptures and live like the early disciples in Acts chapters 2 and 4. With all of our hearts.
I didn't know what those dirty dogs were up to in Acts chapter 3. Why are they like, nope, we're not like those ones?
No, they're filthy. With all of our hearts, we want to do our Father's will, which is to love one another and be a light to the nation, so that they could see our life of love and know how much their Creator loves them. They claim to have built a culture on the foundation of love, stating, about 50 years ago, our culture began from a few people with childlike hearts who left the popular culture of the world, walking away from their old lives. At that time, it was the mainly young single people, but soon there were families with children and even grandparents. They started giving up their houses, farms, and businesses to become part of the new life that they had found. That's not a good thing. Something special and exciting was happening, an enlightenment, a revelation was permeating us. There was an assurance of being cared for, a conviction of something worth living for. This caused us to cast off fear and self-interest so that we could live for each other.
This is all still on their website?
Yes. One of the things, okay, I skipped a part from their website because I was like, this is a lot, but I do want to read you like at least the last part of it. It says, oh my God, this is the longest sentence I've ever seen. Our life is like yellow for our souls. What does that mean? I guess I do need to start from the beginning. In each town where there is a yellow deli, there is also a cluster of homes. Following the pattern of those first believers, we share our common life together there. Though it may be hard for many to imagine living and working together, sharing a pure and holy life, that is really all we desire to do. Coming from many different backgrounds, we who have decided to live this life are very thankful for the refuge we have found among those who believe and respect the Word of God. Sadly, fear of evil or perverse behavior going on among us has caused some to circulate unfounded rumors about us, thinking we must have bad motives. We hope that through having an open and hospitable place like our yellow deli, people will be able to see that we are not really strange and scary, but just friendly folks who love God and our neighbors. It is a different life, but it brings deep contentment to our souls. We enjoy this peaceful environment, free from TV and drugs, so our children at least have a chance to grow up enough to decide on their own path their lives will take before the peer pressure of this modern world sets their course for them. For some, this way may seem too restrictive, but to those of us here, it was the beam of light that revealed the solution to our dark and troubled lives. So, did not get an answer on the part I'm about to read. Our life is like yellow for our souls, and we live in the green pastures of home, along with our sheep. So, let there be yellow. Right up there with ask.
See, you had me going for a minute there, ma'am. No TV, no drugs. I'm out.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm out.
I know. Like, also, why are those the two things?
That's it.
Like, bad. TV, drugs, bad.
Sex,
okay.
Alcohol, murder, cool.
Fine. I wish I could read every single bit of their website to you. And then I put QKD saying something about how I basically already have.
Or QKD saying, we'll put more stuff up from their website on our Instagram.
True.
Go look.
We do not have time for that. This is one of my longer scripts.
Yeah, we got it.
So I just kind of pulled out the parts I thought were most relevant, but I do highly recommend looking at both the 12 Tribes website and the Yellow Deli websites, because they are like really just so fascinating to read. It's like they are like so like upfront about their racism and things, and they're like, everyone thinks we're bad and we're not. That's
silly.
Crazy. Like they like
where
we
did
know
they come up with that other
they
than
like
reading
right.
everything we wrote.
Not that they like consistently deny any like abuse allegations, so they obviously aren't like upfront about that. But like, they're like, no, yeah, like we do think that like everything modern is bad, and like if you agree with those things, you're a bad person. But we'll never kick you out of our restaurant.
Yeah.
And that's what's important.
We are still capitalists at heart. Ultimately, we can cut this, but did you see that video? They were like, the president called to eradicate an entire civilization. So for people wanting to invest right now, what would you say to them about that? It's like, oh my God, capitalism.
Easy. That's it.
Is that it? Cool. Yeah. Good job.
Thanks.
Fine, Mom. It was fascinating. Please don't go visit them.
No. And like I truly think that like when she hears how marvelous an opportunity slavery was, she's gonna be like, never mind.
Yeah, also what were you gonna do? Walk in there but not give them your money?
Well, they're not gonna kick her out.
Right, but I meant for her ethics.
Right.
Her personal ethics. All right.
Okay.
Good work.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.